All right, I hope that worked.
Yeah. If it didn't work, it's just gonna be my fault because I fucked up the clap.
Okie dokes.
Um, well, before we get into stuff, and I'll probably do another intro. Let me start talking and get right into this debate because I don't know if it's gonna be a long one or a short one. We'll see what happens. What are your two spirit animals? If you had to give yourself a spirit animal, what would your spirit animal be?
Does it have to be an Avatar world spirit animal, or can it be like, I don't know, a cat?
It can be, it can be anything you want it to be.
Are you gonna start turning us into VTubers? Nobody.
No, don't even get me started there. But I am gonna try some stuff. I'm asking the question because we'll see what happens. I'll try something.
Oh, geez, I don't know. Gosh dang it. You know that, I guess it's similar. There's a current TikTok trend where it's like, all right, it's like a psychological thing. Think of an animal that comes to your mind to describe yourself as. And then after that, like, all right, got your animal? All right, think of the second animal. What's the first animal that comes to mind? Then it's like, think of the third animal. So then the first animal is what you want people to see you as. And then the second animal is the one that people see you as already. And then the third animal is what you're actually like, right?
Mm.
So I went panda first, that's my favorite animal. And then the second one, I think, what's it called? Cat? Yeah, I went with cat. The last one was dragon. And I'm like, girl, I am no dragon. So, anyway. But I'm going to go with cat. I like them.
All right. I got you. What about you, Roscoe?
I'm gonna say a hedgehog, but I'm trying to become another animal.
Are you a hedgehog that likes to go fast?
No, I'm a real hedgehog.
He's ones that, like, sit, be fat, eat mealworms.
I'm a hedgehog and I have my dilemmas.
Oh.
Okay. I will go with turtle because I like turtles.
Dude, why don't we pick like both the most like what is the word? The most like the most non-intimate animals ever. Like those are the most like protected, shelled, sheltered.
Hey man, hey, nothing can hurt me when I'm in my shell. I don't see any downsides to this.
That explains our friendship so much. You're a turtle with your shell, and I'm a hedgehog.
Jeez. But yeah, I'm interested to hear your guys' points on this because like I never really.
Is this going to be like a guided thing? Like, are there going to be questions that can like jog my memory? Or am I running full speed or what?
It's gonna be
a TED talk.
No, it's not gonna be. Oh, maybe I don't know. Like, so I'm just generally going to. I'm gonna ask you probably like a few questions, and then I'm gonna let you guys go and like debate. And then when you're done debating, I have one more question about book four and like what do you guys expect out of it? Like, pretty much I'm gonna ask you guys about like the end of Avatar, what you guys thought about the end of Avatar, if you guys seen Legend of Korra, and what you guys expect out of this new book 4 that's coming up. But mainly, I'm just gonna let you guys get at it. I might ask some questions and stuff like that, but like, I was thinking of like you guys are kind of like you guys are debating, but like, I'm like the third person in the chair where you're gonna like what's the right word I'm looking for? Like I guess like moderate? I'm the person, not even moderate, but like I guess a moderator
Start the fire.
I am the moderator and also the person you're trying to convince, I guess. Convince me that this ship is better than the other ship. I like how defeated Roscoe is, and we haven't even started.
I don't disagree. I do not disagree. You're making me argue for a
period of time. I drew out Zutara and fancy letters of flowers on my binder, so you know how committed I was to this. But I will say, my preliminary question for you:
do you already have any predisposition biases for anything already?
No, I don't think I have any biases. I've obviously seen all of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I haven't watched any of Legend of Korra, so I don't even know what happens in the future, if that makes sense. I can probably guess, but I don't know what happens. I think Aang and Zuko are both very like interesting, cool characters. And Katara's relationship to either one of them can be equally as valid. And I think it makes sense for them to have like different outlooks on each of the persons. Each of the Zuko and Aang are at different times of the story. So like, because like in my opinion, I think Katara sees Aang way more as hey, this person's gonna help save the world at the beginning of the show. Like at the very beginning of the show, like there's not really a romantic interest in there for real.
Yeah.
It's just more of a like, hey, like I need to make sure this person saves the world because he could fix the world, and then it slowly turns into a romantic thing. But Zuko, his whole arc, his whole character is pretty much like redemption and like slowly redeeming yourself and like being like that person that is always like falling off the wagon or like always hitting setbacks, but slowly redeeming yourself into a person not even the person that people want you to be, but the person you want to be.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And a part of that is like, you know, becoming friends with the Avatar and his friends, and maybe something more with Katara.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Spicy.
But yes. So yeah, I guess like in general, I'm pretty neutral. I just heard I know there's a lot of the Zuko X Katara thing on the internet, and Roscoe list mentioned like that he had a debate about this and it was super intense, and I was like, oh, I really want to hear this debate.
Yeah, so like when we went to college together, and when me and Rowan, I think when we first met, or we first started like hanging out, we had like this big argument about, it wasn't an argument, it was just a back and forth about Avatar and the whole debate between like not Korra, that wasn't out at that time. Or it was. Between like the two ships, Aang and Katara and Zuko and Katara. I didn't know that was a thing at one point. She was the first person that I had met that had that feeling. And we argued that pretty intensely.
You want to start with our Avatar history? Like our, what's it called? Our resume, so to speak, to have this argument. I'm joking.
Okay, yeah, I think I like where your head's at. Like, how much are you guys invested in Avatar? Like, I guess like, what are your general thoughts of Avatar? You could just be like, oh, it was a good show, or whatever. You can, I guess, tell me a little bit. Tell me why you guys are picking these positions.
All right. I'm gonna go first because I feel like flexing. Honestly, it's probably embarrassing, but so my obsession started back when the season 3 finale was having its countdown. So I didn't watch when they originally aired on time. I started when the episode the Ember Island Players aired. And I was like, man, what is this show? Oh my gosh. And then so the next week it was going to be Sozin's Comet. I was like, I gotta be there for that. Turns out I was grounded that week, so my sister and I had to sneak in and watch it in parts through commercials and make sure our mom did not know. She was working nights, so it works in our favor. So after that, it was on Nickelodeon at the time. And they were like, oh, we're going to be replaying the entire thing over and over to hype up the whole, ending of the series for this entire week. And they replayed it over and over again that week. And I sat and watched almost every single episode then. So I knocked out 3 viewings right in that period, right? And because they would play an episode, like they would play the first round of shows all day and regular 9 a.m. to 8 or 9 p.m. And then I'll go through this phase of this playing I don't remember what it was, this, the nighttime shows that no one remembers, Totally Spies or whatnot. Play a couple of those.
I remember that show.
Yeah. But then around midnight or 1 a.m., they started the same stuff they played earlier that day and played it until 9 a.m. So I was like, oh boy, I get to watch this twice. So it started way back then. And I think I got to this, I think I was 12 when this happened. And then after that point, it will play on Tuesdays and Thursdays, an episode will play each day after I came home from martial arts or from karate, because not to flex, I have a black belt in martial arts. But so I would go to karate and watch the first set of shows that was also like Asian martial arts themed. And then I would come home and run and like basically smash into the TV to turn it on so I could watch episodes of ATLA Airbender, which I've already seen like 2 or 3 times at this point. And from that point onward, I watched it religiously from the age of 12 all the way till sophomore year of college, over and over again. So sophomore year of college, what am I, like 19, 20? So
man, it's a good show.
It is. It is. Some people are like, "Is it really that good?" Like, it is. I contemplated getting a tattoo of it. I was at a point where, so where there was a like there's like the regular episode name titles, like I mentioned, Emperor Island Players, but there's also like the S2E like number, like episode, like season 2 episode number title things. I can recall episodes like that. So if someone said, "What was episode S1?" E9, I'll be like, oh, that was the one with what's her name? The girl with the badger, not June. Yeah, it was June. June, the badger and the bounty hunter, and they were doing the perfumes test, whatever, and then like also the same episode Hakoto, whatever. So like I was able to recall, but not only just saying like a plot now, because I can only do plot now, but I can say each line of the episode. So I was failing exams, but I can recall the episode by speech. And then I discovered Tumblr. So I was able to sit there and argue with people online on my Tumblr account. So, I'm deep in the trenches. I was here. I was an OG person. So when I saw quarantine happening, everyone's like, oh, wow, ATLA Airbender is pretty cool. I was like, oh, boy. I got new fresh meat to bully online. So there we go. That's my thing. Also, I've seen, I guess, Avatar, I would say 25 times, the entire thing. And then Legend of Korra 3 times. I've not enjoyed as much. Fully 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna first, before I go and say my qualifications, I just want to point out that that we did it. This is our first episode that isn't about ReZero.
Yeah, this will be our first random talk that's not about ReZero.
Like I think I don't know how many episodes. How many episodes do you think we've done so far? Like at least 6.
I think we're approaching. Wait a minute. We started at episode 15. We're on episode 23 right now. So more than 6, like 7, like 8 or so.
Yeah, it's just our 9th episode. We made it. We finally got to talk about something else other than ReZero. Nice.
Yeah. Nice to you. But yeah, so what are your connection to Avatar, Roscoe? Like what do you I don't want to make it this like a super deep thing where it's like, oh, why did you have such a deep connection with the show? I mean, like, what do you think of the show or whatever? General stuff.
Well, now I feel embarrassed because I don't think my knowledge is anywhere near as deep. I came onto Avatar probably towards the end of the Earth saga. Since then, I've probably rewatched it, like Rowan said, I probably rewatched it over and over again, at least 10 or so times. What are my other relations to? I've seen Legend of Korra. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm probably nearly as big of a fan as Rowan is. I didn't spend my time on Tumblr. I was way too embarrassed to be not embarrassed to be on Tumblr. I was way too embarrassed to post anything onto Tumblr to have one. Or I just like lurked. Most of my Tumblr was just lurking.
You haven't been on the high seas of Tumblr yet. You haven't got your Tumblr legs yet.
There's nothing like being canceled on Tumblr for saying, what's it called? "Quote unquote, Aang sucks." I was demolished when I said I no longer believe that, but I was cyberbullied.
Yeah. Well, Tumblr's still a thing, but it's like it's not as there's so many like places where you have to go on the internet where it's like, oh, you don't have your legs on this platform yet. You're about to get the bully. You're about to get the bully fucked out of, right? Like, it's like you don't understand this place, and you're saying stuff that's gonna get you bullied. But this is a part of you getting to know this space.
Exactly. He's like, oh, honey, you got a big storm coming. That me with that one old lady.
Yeah.
You're sharing your opinions on the internet. Ooh.
Oh.
Oof.
Exactly.
I guess like I was saying my connection with the show real quick. So yeah, I watched Avatar when it first came out. I remember watching the first episode on TV. What's it called? Yeah, I've watched the show a couple times. I don't think I've watched it as much as either of you two, but I've rewatched the show maybe like 2 or 3 times. I haven't seen Legend of Korra. Let me take that back. I've seen the very beginning of Legend of Korra, but I haven't finished it. The main reason is just because like I just liked Avatar a lot, and I felt like it had a really strong ending. Other than that, I have debated this show with a lot of people. Roscoe, you know this. I think the characters in the show are really, really good and interesting, and I think it's a really fun show that is very like not just externally driven, like by like, hey, you know, Fire Nation is attacking and you have to stop the Fire Lord and all that other stuff, but like all the characters in it, well, not all of them, most of the characters in it have like a lot of like character driven actions and reactions that are like really, really interesting and really like flushes out the character, in my opinion. So generally, I'm just saying like the show is really good. And if you're somehow listening to this and haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's definitely worth your time. It's a good show.
Are we doing spoilers?
Hey Rowan, what's your favorite character?
My favorite character? It's a tie between Zuko and Katara. When I was younger,
I'm gonna say Toph.
Katara was like, I was like, I am her, or I'm trying to be her, right? And now, as I got older and kept rewatching the series, for the written story that line of like the Zuko redemption arc, which is like everyone knows about. If you know the series, you know the Zuko redemption arc. I like Zuko is now turned into my son. I'll protect him at all costs. I'll fight to death for that character. You know what I mean? So I still love Katara. I plan on cosplaying her next time a con comes around. So, but
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. My favorite character is Toph. Toph
it rhymes with tough. How to do it?
Toph is a pretty cool character. What would be my favorite character?
It's probably Jet.
My favorite character would probably be Jet if he wasn't just like a terrorist.
I love Jet. Oh my gosh.
If Jet wasn't a terrorist, he would be my favorite character.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. It's just super cool. It's just like, oh, you guys have bending powers? That shit doesn't mean shit here, bro.
I know, his little hook swords are so cool. And honestly, hot take, if this was all rated PG-13 instead of like rated E for everybody, Y7, and then put in anime world, Jet would have definitely come back for like round 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm like, God, they could have done so much with Jet.
Yeah, I like Jet. I think my favorite character is probably Iroh.
Iroh was amazing.
Likes Iroh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, like there's just I really like a lot of the characters in Avatar. I guess like another character that I really like is also my favorite would probably be Jet. Close second would be Iroh, and then after that would probably be like, you know, Zuko. Then after that would probably be like Sokka.
I like Azula a lot.
Just like, yeah, it's like I don't know. Sokka is just like dealt bad heads all over the place. But yeah, so moving on to like I guess like the biggest part of this small little talk or whatever, this random talk. Oh, and if you're listening to this, this is random talk. This is where we talk about anything random that we want to talk about. It's normally has been about specific stuff, but we could talk about anything else. But yeah, I called you both here today to get your opinion on the Zuko Katara ship versus the Aang Katara ship, and I wanted to know, like, one of you guys to like kind of convince me and kind of debate of like why why one is better than the other. Because like I'm pretty neutral. I have a pretty neutral stance on it. But I'm at least you, Rowan, for sure have a very stronger stance on one side.
I don't disagree at all. No, I have a minor argument. I have a very small argument I'm gonna make.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
it. I just want to point this out to the listener that I did not want to do this at all. Nobody has forced me to do this. I mentioned this conversation that we had, and like, oh yeah, I was arguing really hard for Aang, but yeah, I don't know if I feel that way anymore. He's like, man, you should totally argue with Rowan. You should have this debate.
Man.
I want to see it. I want to see the sparks fly.
I will say I'm a little rusty, so
Yeah,
No,
same.
it's all good.
haven't debated for this in a minute.
Yeah. And this is just a random talk. It's not a big deal. We're just giving a general opinions, I guess. But yeah,
Okay.
so what are you guys? I'm just gonna let you guys go. I guess Rowan, you can start because I feel like you have stronger arguments.
Dang.
Yeah.
I gotta put my words together. I guess we'll do a bigger umbrella one, and then I'll let Roscoe go, and then we'll just start fighting each other from there, I guess. But so besides the whole brooding teen thing from back when I was like 13, being like, oh my gosh, it's a man. When I was watching the show, I could see the parallels in the storyline or like in the character development of both Katara and Zuko, meeting the lost of parents thing, the trying to going on a worldly mission to find for the world, you know. So like the example for Katara, she's like, I gotta protect this child to like, you know, so we can save the world. We all know that one. She says in the opening credits. Zuko was like, I gotta go find the world to get the avatar so I can save my honor. But his whole thing is traveling the world for honor. So that's two other things that parallel with. Tragic backstory with the parent. They lost their mothers. You know, the kabish kabosh, right? So like when you're watching this, you also notice that they're both mature characters for their age due to their circumstances, right? So Katara is the mom of the group. She like basically throughout the entire season or all three seasons, she was carrying that whole team on her back in terms of emotional support, right? Like mom friend, her face should be right next to the picture of it in the dictionary, you know? You see her on her little hair loopies. And I'm not saying Zuko was no one's mom nor parent or anything. However, when he started the series, he was going through a lot of trauma, right? And season 2, specifically episode Zuko Alone, he was able to process the trauma and see how things were, you know, developing around him, how the world was affected by the Fire Nation, which made him a more, I guess, not more stoic, but it gave him a firmer grasp on the world around him, which made him more mature. You
He
can also
got
see
woke.
that loading to season 3. What?
He got woke.
Yes, got woke. He got woke.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
oh, continue.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, I know I said this with Roscoe before, but I'll say it again. Where it's like, I think we both agree that when I was talking to Roscoe, where Zuko is like a very responsible character, like Katara.
Yeah.
And Aang is kind of like, he's kind of a character that is trying to shuck a lot of his responsibilities, but it makes a lot of sense for each one of those characters because, like, you know, Zuko has taken is trying to take on all these responsibilities to like get to this goal of like restoring his life together, pretty much putting his life together.
Mm-hmm.
And Aang kind of wants to shuck the responsibilities of being the avatar because like it was something that he never wanted, and then as soon as he got, everyone started to change, like treating him different. And then when he did the one like reasonable thing of like, oh, I'm just gonna run away and just like, you know, take some time out for myself, it turned out to be something like really bad, causing like everyone to not hate him, but like really hates might be a good word. Everyone's like, where the hell have you been for the last like
100 years.
yeah, like the last 100 years or so.
Nobody,
And,
you're taking the first part of my argument.
okay. I'll stop myself. But yeah, you guys can continue.
Okay. Tiptoe into the Aang character or whatever. As far as compatibility, they don't like. I feel like the audience nor the writers or whatever don't give Aang enough credit to the fact that he is 12 years old. Like I don't understand. Like so they're like the town people are like, where have you been? Where have you been? And he's like, oh man, I'm here now. And then like, are they when they're yelling at him about like, oh man, especially that one festival that had like him on like that lit him up on a pyre. I'm like, do y'all know this is a child? Y'all coming for this whole kid right now? And like, if you see him in person,
it doesn't matter.
I guess
it doesn't matter.
Catch smoke.
He's the Avatar. He fucked up.
We need someone to blame.
2 or 12. He was supposed to stop this shit from happening, and this shit happened.
They're like, this genocide happened, and we're gonna blame him anyway.
I don't care if he was,
man. And like every time the older I rewatch the show, I'm like, they've really expected this kid to do the most, and he's literally out here before puberty.
Hey kid, go stop this goddamn war like you were supposed to do 100 years ago.
And go take down the Fire Lord, which is, by the way, a 46-year-old like master at firebending that is destroying an entire continent. Good luck, and we expect you to do so. If you don't, you suck, and get out of our face. But yeah. So along with that, like I just feel like as far as the Katara Aang thing, he was way too immature for Katara. She was in a whole different field. Like, girl was a mom, essentially, for her older brother. And, like, if I was, me, I think Katara started the series at 14, ended season 3 at 15. If I'm sitting here just like, I'm chilling, oh my goodness, I cook and clean for my family. My dad's out there doing Lord knows what, trying to fight for my mom that died in the middle of an ice block in the middle of nowhere. And I'm out here cleaning my brother's dirty ass. And then, like, a 12-year-old comes around. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta pick this 12-year-old since I'm the only mom around here and put him in my wing. We're gonna go on around the world. I don't know what part of her brain will go, you know what? This kind of light, and he looking kind of cute. He still looked 12 at the end of the series. He was just 13 afterwards. And girl's 15. And we go into, like, modern America. We're, like, learning how to drive around then. And these kids are 8th graders. Like, Aang will be 8th grader. I'll be in 10th grade.
14 at the time.
Yeah, Katara was just a year older, right? It was
2
years.
2 years.
2 years older. 14.
A 12-year-old versus a 14-year-old. And then, like, we go back into, like, the day. At 15, you are married with your first child. So, like, at 15, if you were a girl back in, like, medieval era, you are married with your first child by then. Like, that's... And Katara was preparing to be for motherhood back then. If I were going by any sort of, like, logic, Aang still has to go to his first war if he's going to be sharing up with the Katara, because she's like, oh my gosh, I have a dowry. What's what I'm going to do for my family? I'm just going for, like, I'm trying to find the understanding of why she would duck lower for, like, Aang, besides of being the savior of the world, whatever and stuff. But even then, what else can he do?
That's a lower one. He's the savior of the world. That's I'm still getting down. He's not
But
the
he didn't even
savior
save
of
the
the
world
universe.
until the end. Until the end.
I only
like,
date guys that can save the universe, not the world.
Aim high, ladies. But, like, I just, you know,
he wasn't a prince.
He was not a prince. He was not a prince. According to the series, like, she was cleaning up this underwear in a couple of scenes, whatever, like, you know, doing laundry for everybody. She's like, oh my gosh, guys. Because her and, like, because Aang and Sokka were best buddies. And they would go around and, you know, play around with each other, which is a good thing. I'm glad, you know. Oh, I also like to say, I love Aang as a character. He is adorable. I do not hate Aang. Just for this role right here, I don't think he was a good pick. So, but...
All right. So we got to start off. What about you, Roscoe?
Like I said, I agree with most, if not almost all, of what Rowan has said. Even the creators, for the most part, I believe, would agree. I don't think that originally Aang was meant to be Katara's what's it called? Love interest. Love interest.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe, I think Zuko, I'm not sure if Zuko was supposed to be. I think Zuko was definitely, like, always thought as an arc. Yeah. And in my defense, why I think they changed that is, like, yes, I would agree that Katara and and Zuko's arcs are similar. I think there's a very, very specific place where they deviate. And I'd more so say that Aang's arc and Katara's arc overlap at a point to where at the end of the season series, it does make sense for them to be together. We see a shift from Aang, as we were talking about, shifting from not being irresponsible, running away from his responsibilities to like even in a way he's still he finds a way to do things his own way. He ends up embracing it. He does take on the responsibility. We even see like in Legend of Korra, he becomes arguably the most responsible person in the entire series, running both a monastery of monks and an entire city. And I think that stepping up from irresponsibility to owning up to his place as pretty much the Jesus of the world is represents the point where I think those two characters, where I think Katara is able to see Aang as more than a friend, more or less.
So,
I think that sort of point where he becomes.
Or comics fair game for this argument now.
You could bring it in if you want to.
It's gonna no, I'm not saying it's not gonna help me that much. It's gonna prove against me.
I don't think I finished I forgot which comic book series where Zuko and Aang are pretty much about to go at war while because Aang is starting like his new city. That was the what? The Promise? Yeah, the Promise. Yeah. That is like one of the examples that like I can kind of pull, but I don't think I finished that one. So or if I did, I'm a little bit hazy on it. But I think that sort of step that we see in book 3 from Aang embracing his responsibilities and learning, not only just embracing them, but embracing them in his own way. He doesn't choose to kill the Fire Lord. He takes responsibility in his own way. I think that's sort of the evolution that we see.
You know, I will give you that. I will give you that.
And I'll say that with Zuko's character, I would say that Katara and Zuko are set to be romantically entangled for most of season 1, season 2. And I think the point where their paths deviate very strongly is in the season finale of episode 2, where he just abandons her trust. I think trust was a really important part of Katara's beliefs and her values. And I think when he broke that kind of changed her perspective. Katara in the beginning definitely came across, and I think it may or may not have been overtly stated, Rowan, correct me if I'm wrong, that she was definitely more into like bad boys, quote unquote. But I think that like that section of betrayal kind of put her in a weird place where she was starting to recontextualize her I don't know, I guess relationship thing.
Just to like clarify something, by betrayal, do you mean like are we talking about the lightning bolt to the back betrayal?
I'm talking about the lightning bolt to the back betrayal when he sells out his Uncle Iroh sells out
when
Katara.
He sells out his old grandpa.
That's pretty unattractive. That's a very unattractive trait. Selling out old people.
Dare he sell out Iroh? He's been nothing but good to that kid.
Lord, like to this day, it's hard for me to watch those 2 episodes.
But I totally agree that Zuko and Katara I think they are way more. They had the potential to be way more compatible and interesting. Yeah. I don't think that Avatar has the best romantic interests, more or less, or the ones that do. I don't think they progress them as much.
Yeah.
Hashtag Toph and Sokka. Toph. Tokka.
Taka. That's the ship name. That's another very popular ship online. So.
Oh, is it? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes. Yep. Nothing against Taka people, but I still like Suki. But I'm also OG Team UA, the Moon Spirit, and I'm still salty. Still salty.
He got burned so hard.
I was like, dang, we really lost to the moon.
Yo, I have to go beat the moon real quick.
Exactly.
I don't want to break up with you, but you know,
Man.
That's
All
like
right,
the
so
ultimate like. That's like the ultimate like not long distance relationship. Like, oh yeah, baby, I love you, but I just got this job, and I really gotta do it. It's always been my dream to be the moon. But you'll
or keep
support
my
me,
truth.
right?
I'm screaming. There was this fanfic that was after like Suki passed before Sokka, right? And Sokka was sitting alone, whatever, and stuff with his sister chatting. And because she died in a fight or something like that, you know what I mean? It's also this is a fanfic. This is not canon. No one quote me. Anyway, but and like Zuko not Zuko, my bad, who's on my brain. Sokka's talking to his sister like, "Dang, I'm so alone," you know, and like Suki's gone. I'm sitting here, as a old soldier, whatnot. And she's like, "Oh well, you know what? Why don't you go look at the moon? You always like doing that when you were sad." He's a cool bet. And then so he goes outside and goes and sit and stares forlornly at the sky. He's like, "Oh my goodness, my good old UA. Everyone's left me now, but at least you're still here." And then she goes, "Moon." Like, there's that scene when Aang's on that door, beginning on episode 1 of season 3, when he's like flying around and it's like a little storm and like what's it called? He's in the water. He's like, "I'm gonna give up. I'm tired." And Yui comes out from the sky, all like ghostly, whatnot. She's like, "I believe in you," and causes like a wave so he can go back home. You remember this? I don't know. It's such a obscure reference. No one really cares about that scene. Either way, she comes down like that in the fanfic. It's like, "Oh my God, Sokka, stop sulking." He's like, "But girl, I'm alone down here." She's like, "You don't gotta be." And he dies and then joins the fish thing. So they can circle together and he joins the moon. It's a good little fanfic.
Oh, that's cute. But Rowan, the ball's in your court. What do you got?
But another thing. So besides the fact that I researched a lot of what's it called? Interviews with the writers and things. Another one, Aaron Eaz or Ehaz, I believe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his or spelling his last name right or saying it. He was a huge Zutara stan, right? He wrote most of the episodes that dealt with the development or deeper development of Zuko and Katara, specifically the ones on season 3. So like Southern Raiders was the one, and what's it called? Also the Boiling Rock episode he was in charge of. He also did the one with the pirate scene way back in season 1. Anyway, but there was an interview and with the 3, Mike DiMartino and Brian Conzecchio. I cannot pronounce their last name, but you know what I'm talking about. The creators plus Aaron. And they said then that they were like, yeah, Zuko and Katara are originally meant to be together. But they decided like towards the end of writing season 2 that they're like, you know what? We're gonna change this right now, and we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna have Zuko betray everybody at the season 2. Cool. Supposed to happen was Zuko supposed to join them. Then he was supposed to take down, or he was supposed to try to fight what's her name, Azula. And then they're all going to tag team. Aang was still supposed to get very hurt during this scene, and then he was going to help him get out of there. And Iroh was still going to get arrested. So, but they decided to go, you know what? Let's have Zuko betray everybody. I'm like, girl, no, why would you do that? He learned so much throughout the series, and then this is what you do? He went through his whole, he went through the first half of his, you know what? Maybe the Fire Nation is bad. Through season 2, and then he was happy being a little, what's it called? Tea clerk, barista.
Yeah, they made
him tips herself. And then they were like, you know what? Man, that made me violent. That made me violent.
Well, I don't know.
Another thing.
Oh, sorry. Before you go on, I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's one of the real things I dig about Zuko and his characteristics and his character in general, where it's being a good person or redeeming yourself takes work, and you can fall off the train and stuff like that and still
that's true,
try to redeem yourself. And I think it's also I feel I'm kind of glad it happened, because I think it really not stabilized, but like cemented Zuko's minds, like cemented that, like, not everything's greener on the other side, right? Not, the grass is not always greener on the other side, right? For that character, because, like, he gets what he wants. He's finally back in the Fire Nation. He's with, like, the girlfriend. I forgot the name of the girl that he likes.
May.
Oh,
Hate
yeah.
her.
May. Yeah, I agree with you.
She is toxic,
I do not care for May.
Original e-girl.
But yeah, he's with May. He's back in the Fire Nation. He's accepted, and it's still not what's like makes him happy, and he's upset about like what he had to give up to do that. Right? He had to give up probably the person that cared about him most. No, not probably. The person that definitely cared about him most. Fucking Iroh.
Yeah.
Dick move. To this day, I'm like, I do not claim that.
But yeah, but I don't know. I was just saying, like, I I like it a lot because it makes his character at least more deep in my opinion. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, you're right. And also, like, we got that very passionate speech when Iroh finally spoke again after being in in isolation in his jail cell to Zuko. And he was saying, you got the powers of good and evil working against you. This is when, like, Zuko finds out that his great ancestor was was an avatar back in the day, right? So that's why he was like, "So the powers of good and evil warp against you, whatever." I used to know that whole speech by heart, which is so sad. Fall from grace, right? But anyway, but besides the point, gotta go back to fighting this one. So another thing, another reason why I don't agree with the whole Kataang thing is for the development of Aang's character. So one, it was not fair that what's that monk? What was his name, bruh? He was that
Gyatso?
No, not Gyatso.
Are you talking about the
guy.
Guru?
Guru
the Guru or the monk?
Yeah, Guru Patik, him. When he went to go see the Guru.
Yeah.
So he went to go see him for he could unlock all his chakras and get everything aligned. He was like, yeah, you gotta let go of, let go of your more like worldly holdings in order for you to like fully ascend and become like the Avatar, right? And his worldly holding was, Katara, right? Or it was implied that it was Katara, and he was like, "Well, I can't do that. Oh my god!" But he was like, Guru was like, "Well, you're not gonna get this. Like, you're not gonna unlock what you need to unlock then." So, but it kind of like at this period or like this episode, kind of like I guess metamorphosized my disagreement with the whole Kataang thing or Katara Aang, because throughout the entire series, it was shown how much Aang had a crush on Katara. It was rarely shown on the other foot, and Aang had made advances towards Katara, and she was like, "Oh, that's cute." ... Right? And like, "Oh, he's like a brother to me." And then like he tried to kiss her in season 3. He kissed her. And it was like before they flew away, or he flew away to go to like it was the day of Black Sun, and she didn't respond back. She just kind of watched him fly away, right? And it was just like she was thinking about it. And then, like at the episode, the Emperor Island players, they jokingly like bring up the fact that like, oh, I liked him like a brother, the Katara actress. And then she really like Zuko, and he runs away with that, and everyone's laughing, right? And then like, what's it called? Aang did not find this funny in the slightest. So he gets up and runs, right? And I probably would too. I'm not gonna I'm not invalidating his feelings in that. Everyone has very violently strong questions. I can attest to that. So like, Katara goes check on her little son. "Hey Aang, what's good? Are you okay?" And he's like, "Well, I thought after we kissed at the eclipse that things will be different, but everything's the same. And you look like a brother." And she was just like, "Aang, I'm just confused right now. We got way more things to worry about. We literally fighting the Avatar or follower tomorrow. Let's just talk about this later." And he just kisses her, and she pushes him away. She's like, I said I was confused. Get off of me." I'm like, it was like, I'm just like, girl, oh my gosh. So like, right the day before, she told you she was not interested. So how in the world, like 24 hours later, that ending scene when they kiss, I'm like, she was literally not feeling it 24 hours ago. And as a girl, that doesn't happen. As me, as I can vouch as a girl.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
if I'm still confused, I'm gonna still be confused 24 hours later. I'm gonna be glad the war's over. But I'm still going to need my time to think about my feelings, especially after you try to kiss me. But anyway, so that bothers me to a peak point. But anyway, organize my thoughts. I'm all over the place. So throughout the series, it shows that Aang has an idealized version of Katara in his head, and like, oh, she's my dream girl, blah 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 blah. But by not voicing her side of the story, and the few times it was voiced, it was not reciprocated. It puts the fact that he only liked like an idealized version of Katara, not actually her. So it wasn't like a back and forth, like, oh, I'm going to be coy over here, and then like, oh, maybe we could try something one day. No, like there's like for instance, what's another show that was popular that the show you could see both sides of the story. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything right now. But usually in like young adult or children's movies, you will see like like playful toying with both sides of the characters, and like in Recess. Thank God I can think of one. The little kids in Recess, the girl with the little pigtails, little tomboy girl, and then like the head boy with the ball cap. Throughout the series, they're like, oh, ew, I don't have a crush on them. But then like they'll walk away and they'll look back in the hallway and be like, oh, the light in this fluorescent hallway is kind of looking, he looks a little cuter in this side. Or like, he's like, wow, I never seen her in a dress before. And like the only episode they did that in that was mildly close, there was two. It was the Cave of Two Lovers episode, and it was the episode where they were dancing in episode. Well, kinda. Even then, so like even in that episode, that was very one-sided. And at the end, when she's like, "Oh, you're gonna marry a powerful bender one day," that face she made wasn't a "Oh my God, it's Aang." It was more like, "Oh, is it going to be Aang?" Question mark. It wasn't a like, "Oh my God, this is my man." It was a interesting ... It was very ambiguous in my opinion. But like the other one was the dancing episode, which was a fire episode. Whoever choreographed that deserves 8 raises. So it was the episode back in season 3.
This is
I think episode 2,
Nation, right? Yeah.
Yes, the Fire Nation. Katara's outfit was slamming. Aang was doing the most to do the peacocking for Kataang, not Kataang, for Katara. Katara was feeling it. I will give him that. Even I was feeling it. I was like, dang, I didn't see Aang in his light before, his little hair and everything. But like, I was like, oh my gosh, are they really going to do this shit for real finally? And after that, there was crickets. There was no other like mention of like Katara's feelings of this. So.
Yeah, I would say Aang was killing it. All he needed was some waves, man.
I know, a little headband. Bro. He was like, you and me, don't get anybody else.
What if he like got to the end of the series, he had a wave cap on, and he was like, I'm ready to face the pile, and he takes it off, he's got the fresh wave.
Damn, son.
You say that, but on Twitter they have like ATLA edits, and they have one with Aang. Like, how he does that pose when he's like heads down, and he's doing like the Superman pose, and he's holding his staff. So, but like in that, instead of him holding his staff, he's holding the wave, his do rag, and he's revealing his waves. And it was it was one of my friends. It was like a profile picture for a while. If I find that one, I'll put it in the Discord.
Please do.
It was so funny. I'm gonna look up Aang with waves. Aang with waves.
Yeah, man, I'm glad that you brought that up. That episode, the episode previously with the meta episode with the theater. I totally did not remember that. And that is super cringy.
So cringy.
My biggest problem. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna have 2 things I'm gonna say. One, I think as I've grown older, I think I've had a really different understanding of Katara.
Mm-hmm.
I think now that I'm old, before I was like, oh yeah, Katara's cool. She's like, she can water bend. She's like kind of, when she blood bend, she's kind of scary. But now that I'm older, like, out of all the people I think that are for sure about it, like would kill a person, the only people I could think of are Azula, Katara, and that one dude. Oh man. And the dude with the eyeball on the forehead. Katara is kind of like
what's it called?
Katara is low key like cutthroat.
Not low key. I would say high key.
High key. She was about
high key cutthroat. Like, I still think about that. I was talking about this with nobody. I still think about that moment when they are in the air temple in the Fire Nation, where she tells Zuko, if you take one step out of line, I will end you.
Oh yeah, she's gonna murk them.
And I think in like a meta sense, I feel like a audience or I guess the male audience, I feel like maybe like sometimes they didn't have that perspective at the time. I think sometimes there's this weird meta commentary like with Aang. And I definitely remember getting this as a kid, is that like, oh yeah, Aang has to be with Katara because he's the main character, he's the special one, which I think is like a super weird, it's not a very good argument. I think when I first was arguing that, he's like, oh yeah, he's the Avatar, but that's like a really, really weird argument. I think you make a really good point. I think it is really weird that, you go from this character that is like questioning, like, I don't know how to feel. Like, we had that whole dance scene. The cha-cha was playing, but we weren't playing.
We had our cha-cha.
Shouts out to Preach. And then, and it's a few days later, we're watching this, I don't know how to feel. And then you beat the Fire Lord, and I guess it's like, I guess it's cool. So I don't really fully have like a super big answer on that part. I would still say maybe like, maybe Aang's arc. I'd just say maybe like, I still think that maybe Aang becomes more responsible, and that's like really the only argument that I have that I think that would make them more compatible. But I don't really feel that like I feel like if Aang's most compatible character was like, what was that one girl he was like talking to it?
Was it Mang with the hair?
No, not Mang. Are you talking about the girl with the braids? Not the braids with the ponytail?
Yeah.
No, I feel like there was another. Wasn't there another girl?
What nation is she from?
I think it was the Earth Kingdom.
That don't help at all.
Yeah. Was she a bender?
Earth Kingdom.
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it.
You look it up while I ask this question, I guess.
Was she a comic person?
I don't remember. I feel like there was one person that I remember that I felt like would have been a way better match for Aang.
Oh, since it's
that little girl in the Fire Kingdom with the hair with the little bangs.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking of.
I liked her a lot. I was hoping she would stay around.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What was her name?
I don't even remember her name. She was in that one episode.
All right, yeah. And this is when he was going to like the Fire Nation school, right?
Yes.
Yep. Or better yet, maybe what's it called? I feel like if anybody that's in the show that is a main character is more compatible, it would probably be the Tai Chi bender person. They seem like their personality.
Ty Lee?
Yeah, but she's
too old for him, bro.
I mean, yeah, that's the only I don't know how old she but that's the only person I think that was like had a personality that would have matched up.
That is true. I'll give you that. I will say before you start, nobody. Okay. In the comics, Aang got like 10 years more maturity within a matter of like months after the what's it called, the Fire Nation inauguration, whatever stuff. If he had that personality throughout the series, I would not have my big of a bitch fit about this. So I will say that.
Okay.
He really like straightened up during the comics. I was like, wow, yeah. I am proud of this man right here, a young man. There he goes. And he had puberty. He is now Katara's height in the comics. So.
Nice.
There we go.
It was because he was short. We brought it out. It was because Aang was short.
But it has like a baby body.
I guess my question would be, what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so yeah, I again, yeah, I stopped right after the original airing of the show, and off that, so I haven't read any of the comic stuff and stuff like that. But that is an interesting thing to hear, because like I don't know, Aang. I guess my question would be like, so Aang is like, we've been bagging on him, but like I think his character is really interesting. Aang is this like character that brings that like it's really about like to the group. He kind of brings to the group like saying, hey, it's important to focus in the moment and like enjoy the moment. and all that other stuff, and like have this silliness and like happiness about you. And I was saying like Aang, Katara, Toph, and Sokka spend a lot of time together. And do you think a combination of that stuff could be like the reason why that ship worked? Why they were like, oh, Aang is like they're kind of like opposites, and you know how they like kind of attract and like fit each other's pieces. Do you think that's an argument? I have no idea. I was just throwing stuff out there because I think the debating part's over. I think Roscoe has it's pretty sure he's about to hold this L.
No, I'm still in there. I'm not gonna say that like okay, I'm definitely gonna say that Zuko for sure I don't think would have been a good romantic. I think he ruined his chances at the very least. I will say that I think if given more time, I think my issue with the relationship is that it was too rushed. I think that's gonna be my argument. I think if they would have waited another season, I think we could have changed our minds. They could have had a really great love triangle thing where she's like, you know what, I did like Zuko, but you know he totally sold out his grandpa.
Yes, no, don't forget that. I am never gonna let that go. How dare you say? I can understand you selling out Aang and all the other people's, but Iroh,
I know,
really?
Iroh, bro.
I think the staff writers just wrote themselves into a hole on that. I think
They really
if
did.
it wasn't for that, I would have agreed. I wouldn't have agreed maybe like 5 or so years ago, but I definitely agree now.
But yeah, I guess like back to that original question. Like, do you think like the time they spend together and Aang is just like kind of opposite person to pretty much everyone else in the group? Do you think that like makes it work a little bit better?
See, I don't think so. I would say his opposite will be Toph.
Okay. That makes a lot. That makes more than better sense, right? That
and
makes
like,
a lot of sense.
I guess in that respect, they're like the same age. Like Toph and Aang are like the same, or within the same age, or something. So, which I've never been like a Toph Aang fan, right? But we had an alliance on Tumblr because we had a mutual.
I like how Tumblr became the Fire Nations. Like they just like I am part of the Katara Aang Nation, and I will kill anyone that tries to fight to stop this.
I will get
it's
it like
that.
Oh man,
it's like half that and half gangland. Like step into their own Tumblr. It's like where grandma stays.
Exactly, it was like that though. Like you're making jokes, but it was so serious. It was so
Where you
serious. It was like I want to respect what you have to say about like Iroh's story about being a martyr to the series, whatever stuff. However, I noticed you like Zutara, so I honestly have to send all my friends after you. That's how literally it was up there. I was like, oh my gosh, you don't want to take my opinion on like the strong females up here, but like. You didn't like me though about my Zutara thing, so you gotta come for me. That's not fair.
Yeah, man, the internet's a weird place, man.
I was just saying that I don't see much of as opposites for Aang and Katara because like they are pretty peaceful people, like not to be this person, astrology sign wise, water and air.
Okay, keep going. Keep going. Which one?
Water and air, like
I just so we've moved from like
man, because like
we moved from facts to astrology.
I did, because I'm like, because like not like Katara was going with the flow or anything, but she was like rational. She wasn't like very I hate to say quick to anger because girlfriend wanted smoke for like half the series, but but in the sense that like she was not actively looking for fights, but she could end fights in that sense. Aang was I'm a peace lover person. We could find a different way to argue this without outside of being like fighting with our fists.
Yeah, I like
and in that kind of way, I feel like they're pretty alike in that respect.
Yeah, I like, and the more you said it, like I was like, yeah, that makes a sense. I would think like, yeah, even like when Toph was trying to teach Aang how to earthbend, like that was kind of like his whole problem when she was like saying like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, you can't just flow your way around this thing. Like it's something that you have to like take on. You have to like attack head on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you crushed that argument. Yeah, I think that if anyone is like the opposite of Aang, it would probably be like Toph in a lot
Yeah.
of ways.
Also, hot
Yeah,
take. I think Toph had a crush on Zuko.
Really? Even after he burned her feet?
Oh yes. Yep. Because she was still salty about not having her life changing trip with Zuko at the end, and like there was a scene where like, what's it called? Oh yeah, because she grabbed onto him when he was gonna like pick someone to go with the go away to do the Fire Lord Agni Kai fight with his sister, right? And she was like, "I want to go," and she's like, "I don't want to go on a trip with them. I just want to go." I'm like, "Dang, I don't think I've ever seen her hold anybody throughout the whole series."
Well,
So
she holds
She had
she had a
she
whole
did that with
Sokka
Sokka.
yeah, she holds
because she was blind,
Well,
and also she couldn't
Well, she
swim.
had a crush on Sokka.
well,
She did too. I think she had a crush on all the older boys.
let's
I can relate.
let's not use the blind excuse for Toph. She's practically like the only time she's
No,
really
because like
blind
no,
is
I
if
mean when
she's
she
in
burned her feet,
sand.
she was blind in that time period, so she was holding on to people.
She's barely blind. I'm just joking.
Yeah,
She is
she's
pretty much
lukewarm blind.
omniscient.
Yeah, she's pretty omniscient. And she's like
Yes,
she has more perception than she has the highest perception out of that whole party. She is blind,
That's true.
but like her blindness gives her like she's blind but superhuman in a sense, and like it only like she's only really blind in like very specific like settings, like in the sand.
Yes.
I like how they
Indeed.
like when
That
they were
was so sad.
yeah, I like when they did it where it's like I like it was like Egg came out all pissed and stuff like that. He was like, why can you do anything about it? He's like, bitch, I'm blind. I can't see shit here.
Exactly. Like this is literally her worst area, bro.
You took me to the worst place possible.
And then told me to watch Appa.
Yeah, you told me I don't have eyes. Oh, I do have eyes. I can't see. But yeah, I don't know. I think Toph is a super cool character too, especially when she metal bends. Oh, one of the best episodes in the series.
I don't think they give her enough credit for what her purpose was during Sozin's comment when she took down all those blimps. I know Sokka was there, yeah, so was Suki, but they're not metal bending. It was so. Anyway,
I guess like do you guys have anything else you want to say about before we like wrap up this debate or stuff like that? Do you have anything you guys want to say before we like kind of wrap up the debate part?
I have a pro Kataang thing to say.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Ooh.
I have an
I know.
anti-Kataang thing to add.
Oh dang! I like how you guys just switch arguments. Go
Going
ahead.
to end it. So the comics is where the Zutara thing falls. Actually, I can't even say Zutara because Zuko was just going through it the most for everything, and he lost everybody. But besides the point, Kataang thrived more in the comics. However, I feel like Katara's character was tossed to the side. I don't know who decided to write the comics, but they sure did change Katara's character. She ended up becoming more of a excuse me, in the first couple of them, like a +1 character, or like she was Aang's girlfriend, not she was Katara, if that makes sense.
Not Katara.
Which
that would
bothered the hell out of me because she was just like, "Okay, babe, I will step on the side." I'm like, does this sound like she would say this during any point in the series?
So she
at all. It was so weird.
Oh, so
However, the way Aang treats Katara throughout the comic and how he carries himself in general, big old boyfriend points and person points in general. Like he was doing his avatar thing. He was doing his I'm a boyfriend thing. He was doing I'm a good friend thing for Zuko. And I'm a peacekeeper. Like he earned all the points. And that should have been shown somehow through the series before the final kiss happened. Now, if that part happened, outside being romantically involved with Katara, but just being, what's it called? Like showing the love interest part in Katara in a respectful way, like he did in the comics. But that was like done before the final kiss. Then I would sat here and just ate my food. I would have sat there and like, I'm still team, Zutara, but I agree. I respect this ship. That's where I end my case.
So that's interesting to hear. So in the comics, pretty much Katara becomes like a secondary character in a way. Is she kind of like a
It
secondary
was so
character?
weird because like her like the like I read all the comics up until the Southern Water Tribe ones, which really pissed me off. 'Cause I feel like they really just redid Katara's character completely because in the first one's the promise, right? She goes back to like her aggression or animosity with Zuko, even though in the last couple of episodes of the series
Everyone was cool, from
they
what I
they
remember.
resolve their issues,
Yeah,
right?
from what I remember,
She said, I'm ready to forgive you. Back
they
then.
were like all pretty cool with each other. They were all on at least
Yeah.
common ground, from what I remember from the last episodes of the series. But sorry, continue.
It was like stupid. And then like so it made no sense for like she has like unnecessary aggression towards that. And like spoilers, in this thing, The Promise, Zuko asks for Aang to if I start looking like my father, kill me, bro. I'm not about to do this. And like what's it called? People were playing mind games with Zuko, so he was going like ballistic. And Katara's over here like, kill him, bitch. I'm like, girl, I was like, where did this come from? And like, Aang's like, oh, okay,
Hey,
everyone calm down, calm down.
No, we already said Katara's about it.
She was, and she was really about it in the comics. She was like, you know what, this is our time. We can kill him now. And like, it was only like Aang was like, doing his Avatar thing, and he ended up saving Zuko's life. Zuko's like, oh my god, girl, I'm going crazy. I need to take a break. But like it was very interesting how they did Katara's character. And then like after those comics, she was like almost exclusively referring to Aang as sweetie or honey bun. There was no, hey Aang, here's something that developed as part of my character where I usually give you advice about this, that, or the other, as like I did throughout the entire series on how you make decisions. I'm just gonna stay here and nod and look cute. And then like be a bomb fighter in the end. Like she was still fighting her ass off, right? But like
Yeah,
it was just there was not much depth to her character. And then when it went to the Southern Water Tribe, she was just unnecessarily angry about things that as a character was developed through the series as she resolved these feelings, right? So it was just they really dropped the ball. I don't know who did that, but it pissed me off. And every other character was written well, except for her.
that is interesting to hear because like I don't know, like I would think the character, like in comics I feel like you have a little bit more time to like expand on stuff.
Yeah.
And like I would think in the comics though the relationships and the characters would be even more like things would be even more character driven in the comics, but I don't know, I haven't read any of the comics. And I would think there would be like a lot more like, hey, like, oh, Katara is doing this, Toph is doing this, and there's the reason why they're doing this. And what I'm saying, like I feel like I feel that would be more pronounced. But if she's stepping back into like kind of like a support character, that feels kind of weird because she is kind of like
kind of weird.
she is very like, hey, this is what you guys, the whole group that Aang hangs out with all critiques each other all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're all
she
like,
was just very antagonistic. And to Toph too.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your point, Roscoe?
I have three. One, to go back to Rowan's point. Zuko is super responsible in the same way that Katara is. He was running an entire like ship, or was it a fleet? Or it was definitely, if not a fleet, it was definitely one ship.
It was a fleet. There was more than one boat. From what I remember.
So if we have to think about this like logistically, he is managing many like people. He is like working on helping people's pay. He's if they have some sort of 401k system, he's paying into that. He is pretty much a manager, a boss. He is super responsible, as we see in the beginning, and he has a lot on his plate. He's always had a lot on his plate.
You just threw a funny image in my mind of like the Zuko that we meet in the first episode or whatever. Like I saw you coming up, he's like, boss, I just had a quick question. I just want to know, like, do I get like 20 or 30% of my 401k? Like, is there like, can I take off some? I'm running into hard times. I got a baby mama.
yeah. And to go against the Avatar and the Kataang ship, is that I don't super like how Aang's progression happened towards the end as well. Specifically when he had kids. He is kind of a terrible father.
Hmm.
That is pretty well established. He's not really in the picture for most of his kids, and if he is, it's specifically focused on Tenzin, who I out of all the characters in Avatar, I hate him the most. I hate Tenzin so much. I hate him so much. So there's that against him.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. And I do agree with Rowan that Katara and Zuko. I don't think Aang and Katara were super compatible for a majority of the series.
I guess for what's it called, shits and giggles, my runner-up compares, or I guess ships for Katara definitely would have been Jet. I think I could have figured out a redemption arc for him. I would have been down. Also, Haru, he was a little earthbender from that the earthbender
Okay.
from the jail episode, Haru.
Yeah.
He got this ugly mustache in season like 3, and I was like, who decided to do this, bro? But
Okay. Yeah.
But I liked the Jet ship, the Jet and Katara ship. I was like, yeah, this is nice and toxic. I like this a lot.
Nice and toxic.
Eh.
Man, I'm telling you, man. I really like Jet. The only flaw in his character was he was a terrorist. So yeah, thanks for sharing you guys' opinion on
My
this.
connection is wilding. I'm so sorry.
You're good. Thanks for sharing your opinion on this stuff. Like I'm interested. I was really interested in like what debates you guys would have on this, because like I don't know. I didn't really get into like the shipping part of Avatar too much. So I was interested to hear like people that had like different stances on that specific ship, because I would think that one would make people very angry. Like 5 years ago, I could definitely see people debating very vehemently about this.
I'd be so triggered. I'd be so triggered right now. I want to see my bald man win. Gonna win, damn it.
Yeah, but yeah, I could easily see like this is something that's people would debate 5 years ago, but I want to hear it super late because everyone's mellowed out now. I guess before we wrap everything up, this might be like a whole other section or whatever. So first off, I would ask you guys, like, what did you guys you guys both have seen Legend of Korra, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess like my whole question is revolving around that, like this new thing is supposed to happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but book 4 is supposed to happen as a continuation to Avatar. We're supposed to get like this another book or whatever. I guess like what were your guys' thoughts on the end of Avatar? What do you guys expect from this new series, this new book that's coming out? Since you guys kind of already know it, you guys kind of have an idea what's going to happen, right? Because you guys have both watched Legend of Korra. You guys have like a better understanding of the future. So I guess like my question is, do you guys have any predictions for this new book 4 that's supposed to come out? And or do you have any like expectations in this book 4?
Well, I'm scared, for one. Because we found out in LOK, in Legend of Korra, that, Aang wasn't the greatest dad. And, Toph has 2 baby daddies. And then, what's it called? Katara is just, sitting around the Southern Water Nation. But she's doing well. It's just, I feel like the only one that did, like, decently at the end, as an adult thus far. Also, Sokka died early. No one really knows what happened to him. But, like,
Yeah.
and, like, what's it called? Like, the only one that did, like, relatively decently, I think, was Zuko. Because, like, he's out there. Also, in the comic, another spoiler, he and May break up. So I don't know who he ended up with. So I'm like, I don't know what to expect because they can do the comics route, right? If they do the comics, they better rewrite Katara's lines because I'm gonna be real pissed the entire time. I'll have to fight this rain, but like,
Yeah.
but besides that, the comics plot wise are banger. Like I wished they animated that because like there is called the conversation are complex because it basically writes everything that happens up until the dawn of Republic City and then the beginning stage of Republic City, and then all of the I guess conspiracies, the betrayals, like what's it called, the possible assassination attempts and things that might or might not have happened to her, but like it fills in a lot of it adds a lot of meat to the series that LOK or Legend of Korra just did not. They just kind of just skipped over. So I liked that. However, everyone wants to see a time jump.
However,
I know. Everyone wants to see a time jump when everyone's all grown, like grown, not like a year after like the Avatar Last Airbender ended, which is like the comics. But like I'm scared to see the time jump. I want to know who. First of all, I still want to know whose father, who's like Su Lin's, like Sui Jin, whatever. Toph's children's father. I thought I nailed him in the comics, but he's not. I don't think. What?
I was trying to remember her name.
Yeah, the Beifong. Lin Beifong, but I forgot her, like, the sister. I think her name's Su Yin. They call her Sue. But, I want to know that, like, how that happened. Because apparently, like, Toph wasn't really a mom type. And then, like, apparently she, like, abandoned the kids or something, so they were out there scrapping on their own. I was like, girl, what? Right? Like, it made no sense. I was like,
whoa. That's a crazy tidbit of information. Continue. Sorry, I was like,
yeah, and like when you hear about like the adulthood thing, I'm like, it's like when you see those like memes, and you're like, oh, where is this? Like, where is like, what's his name, Elmo now? And you see him at a trash can snorting cocaine or something like that. It's supposed to be like a meme or something, but that's what it feels like when you read what happens to the characters later. Like, I was so painfully shocked about Aang being a bad father and like seeing his kids and LOK fight or argue with Tenzin, like his daughter and his son fight with Tenzin, being like, "You're the only one Dad cared about." I was like, "I didn't want to do this. Not the Aang I know." So I don't want to see the Aang I know being a jerk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we should have a whole other conversation about just Legend of Korra.
Yeah. I did want to talk.
It makes me angry.
I did want to talk to you guys about that, about like maybe doing one on Legend of Korra, because I haven't seen Legend of Korra, but I was like, maybe I should go watch it and then have a discussion with you guys, because like I guess like my personal point of view, the main reason I've only watched like a little bit of Legend of Korra, but the main reason I kind of stopped or whatever is because like I just felt pretty good about the last Avatar's ending. I felt the ending was really good, and I felt like it was very, really strong. So I guess like this is kind of leading into my thoughts. I guess is like I'm a little bit. I don't feel like the next book is necessarily too, because like I don't want to. I feel like I already had the main course already. I had the main course with dessert. So why do I need more? So that's why I'm like I guess I'm excited to see something new. That's always fun to do. But I'm like kind of like I think the ending of Avatar was really good, and why would I ruin that experience? I guess. But I am thinking about like going through Korra, because like I heard some good things. I heard some mixed reviews about it, but I heard there's some really good things in there too. The only thing that might change my mind, like I'll be like super excited for like book 4 or whatever, if what's her name, Ty Lee and Jet come back and they go fuck up someone's day. That's the only way so cool. that you're gonna get me like gut whole about watching either book 4 or Legend of Korra. But I don't know. That's besides the point.
That's right.
I think I just think like it's very rare to get a story that's really, really good all the way through, and then it has a really good ending. And then as soon as you put on like that extra part of it, it just feels like it's gonna ruin expectations. But it's fine. Like I think like I want to really make it clear. Like I think like I haven't seen Legend of Korra. Only seen like the first like 2 or 3 episodes, and even in those 2 or 3 episodes, I think they did the right thing, where it's like focusing on these people that can like fuck up benders that don't have powers, and that's just right up my alley.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley. But like, I just never got into it like I did Avatar.
Yeah.
It's just a fact I found out that the voice for Kuvira, in book, I guess it's the 3rd season of Korra, is voiced by Robin Williams' daughter. I did not know that.
And she ate that role, I swear to God. Kuvira was one of the best people.
I don't know who that is.
She's pretty cool.
Honestly, one of my crack shifts is Korra and Kuvira.
I can see that. Yeah, I'm not Kuvira, to sum it up, she's an earthbender fascist.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Interesting.
The villains and Legend of
She's
Korra,
like Stalin,
top
but
tier.
with Earth.
Yes.
That sounds terrifying. What about, I guess, like, what do you expect out of book 4, Roscoe?
I don't really expect really much of anything. I'm a little bit worried because I don't think the main writers are on it. That doesn't mean that it can't be bad. I think the writers sort of George Lucas themselves with this new season, or the Legend of Korra. I hope if they do it, they go back to the original heart, like blood and soul of it, which is like, I don't want to say it's like wisdom or whatever, but like there is sort of like a pre-modern sort of take on like, I guess, wisdom and things like that. Like my biggest issue, or a lot of my issues, I think we talked about that came up with Legend of Korra, is that it was like really postmodern. All of the adults and all of the like supposed wise people, like Lieutenant Beifong, Tenzin, and even like older people like Toph, were either like completely sterile and had no good advice to give, or just were giving the worst advice possible. And I think what I really liked about a lot of the characters in the original one is that they like, I don't know, it felt a little bit more fantastical. I think some of the adult characters like I don't mean to say that like they were like, strong isn't the right word, but they were trustworthy, and they helped push the plot. And like, I'm not saying that like, oh, you should trust your elders, you should respect your elders, or anything like that. And I'd say if anything, I'm a pretty postmodern person, but that was some of the magic that I thought got lost.
That is very interesting. I haven't seen Korra, but like I would definitely agree in Avatar, where it's like a lot of the older characters in Avatar normally, even if they're bad characters, they generally have like at least like one good point that you have to consider.
Yeah, like the best example is they brought back Iroh for like maybe like a few episodes in Legend of Korra, and those are like my favorite episodes. Because he was there and his input.
See, you're giving me some gladness. I might want to watch Legend of Korra because of this. I will watch Legend of Korra.
It takes a minute to get there. It takes much for him to get there on scene, but it's worth seeing his scene.
I will watch this show just to see Iroh again.
Yeah, good old Iroh.
But yeah,
my favorite was the Admiral Zhao cameo as well.
See, yeah, that was so weird, bro. I was like, I am disturbed. I was like, I don't know if I wanted to know what happened to him. Oh, that was so weird.
But yeah, thanks you guys for debating and giving me a little bit of insight on this, because I was super interested to hear both of you guys' opinions, because like I think you guys both make really good points every time I had a conversation with you guys. You guys both make good points. So I was wondering how a debate between you two would look like. I'm honest. I'm gonna be honest. I wish I was there when the debate happened 5 years ago. But this is good too. But yeah, and if anyone's listening to this, just know like, hey, I guess I'll probably put this in there in the beginning. But like, hey, this is just our opinions. We're just talking, a couple of friends just talking about Avatar, because we all really like the show. I don't think that's up for debate. And I think a lot of people do like the show as well. But yeah, do you guys have anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up this episode?
I will say that my microphone was on my desktop microphone and not my regular microphone. So sorry guys, I messed up for the third time again.
It's okay.
Third time.
It's okay, buddy. It's fine.
It sounds pretty clear to me.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do I have any?
We'll see when
last
it comes out in
words?
Audacity.
Oh, that's true.
Do you have anything else you want to say, Rowan?
I'm trying to think. I had one last thing about the whole book 4 thing, but I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to. Oh, I know that. What's it called? So the book 4 is supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
But they're also making an Avatar universe. So not only the book 4 is supposed to happen, but they're also supposed to be continuing the next Avatar chain. Either they're going forward or they're going backwards. Either way, I want to see Kyoshi. Kyoshi's been getting a lot of.
It's a book.
Huh? Oh yeah, it's a book. But I want to see it animated. I want to see it animated. I want to see her out here fighting.
I don't know.
I want to see it.
I don't know who these are, but I'm guessing they're pretty cool.
Avatar Kyoshi?
Like, yeah, Avatar Kyoshi. The
Kyoshi Warriors?
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so you're saying so you're saying they can go into the past? This might go into the past as well?
Yes.
Damn.
Remember, so another spoiler. Avatar 1 was the first Avatar. If he was revealed in Legend of Korra, and I wished they made a series out of that. So that would be my other wish for future anything for Avatar. Kyoshi or Avatar 1.
Okay.
I just want to see bloodbending again.
I just want to see those hook swords again, man. Bring them back.
I want
Bring
Jet to
back
come back too. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Bring him alive, or we could see him in the spirit world or something. I don't know.
No, I don't want him in the spirit world. I want him in real life, blood and bones, fucking people up, fucking benders up.
That's right.
But yeah, thanks again, you guys. I will maybe we could talk about it later, but see if maybe if I watch Legend of Korra, maybe we can have another talk about just specifically Legend of Korra, and maybe we can have another talk about just Avatar specifically, because I know this one is a little bit focused. But if you guys are interested into that, let me know. And if you are listening to this, if somehow you have listened to all this, congratulations, you have literally beat the algorithm. You have beat some type of statistics, so you should give yourself a good old pat on your back. Well, and thanks for listening. If you have any sides or points you want to make, please drop them in the comments. If you want to talk about another ship that happens in Avatar, I guess, please drop it in the comments too. I'm interested to hear these ships, because I'm pretty sure there's probably like 80 ships that are happening in the show, and I don't know about. I bet even the cabbage guy has a ship.
Yeah, no, but we're forgetting the biggest ship of all, Ko the Face Stealer and the owl at the library.
What the fuck?
Are you serious?
No, I'm just making that up.
Well, I was about to say,
my god.
but yeah, leave it in the comments. And give us your thoughts and your perspective. Do you guys have anything else to say before we log off?
As always, don't forget to lick that like button and subscribe.
Please don't lick small thumbs. It's not good to lick things.
Don't listen to him. It's not a good role model. Good role models tell you to step outside your comfort zone.
No.
And lick that like button.
Don't do it. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, don't. But yeah. Rowan,
you can click the dislike. You can lick the dislike button if you want.
Please,
I just want to suggest.
Please don't lick any of the buttons. And
I believe in your right to lick things, whatever you want. The doorknob. Okay, don't lick the door. You want lick everything. No, don't lick other things outside your house.
If you live in the same time this is probably gonna come out in, you have experienced a pandemic. Please don't lick anything.
That you have not cleaned off.
Rowan, do you have anything else other than terrible advice?
If y'all are in the comments fighting about ships, I will jump in and start swinging. I don't care what side I'm going on, but I'll go on the side that's fighting strongest. That's all I gotta say.
Sweet. Well, Thanks for watching again, and you guys take it easy.
Take it easy.
Bye.
I have three. One I just remembered I was going to give to she was talking about earlier. Is that
Bleep me out. He said my name.
Ah, shit.
I will bleep you out. Don't worry.
All
You
right.
fucked up, Roscoe.
All right. Okay. To go back to